Hello everyone, myself Ami Patel, working as Assistant Professor in Computer Engineering Department at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research. Here is the 8086 microprocessor pin diagram. So, there are 40 pins in 8086 pin diagram. First is power supply and frequency signals related pin. These pin are pin number 40. Here is pin number 40 VCC, pin number 1 and pin number 20, right? Pin number 40 is used for plus 5 voltage DC supply and pin number 1 and 20 is for the ground. Here pin number 1 and 20 for the ground. After that, clock related signal. Pin number 19 is here, pin number 19 CLK is the clock related signal. After that, address and data bus. Pin number AD0 to AD15. Here AD0 to AD15 means pin number 16 to pin number 2. Pin number 2 to 16 are address as well as data bus, right? These are the 16 address as well as data bus. AD0 to AD7 carries the low order byte at data and AD8 to AD15 carry higher order data bytes. During the first clock cycle, it carries 16-bit and after that it carries 16-bit data. First it carries 16-bit address and after that it carries 16-bit data. After that, address as well as status bus. A16 to A19, S3 to S6. Here A16 to A19, pin number 38 to pin number 35. S3 to S6 are address as well as status bus. These are the 4 address status bus. During the first clock cycle, it carries the 4-bit address and later that it carries the status signal. After that, BHE. Here BHE, pin number 34, BHE S7. BHE stands for bus high enable. It is available at pin number 34 and used to indicate the transfer of data using data bus D8 to D15. This signal is low during the first clock cycle and after that it will active. After that, pin number 32. Here pin number 32 is for the read purpose. It is used to read operation. After that, pin number 22. Pin number 22 indicate the ready. Here pin number 22. It indicates the ready signal. It is available at pin number 32. It is an acknowledgement signal from input-output devices that data is transferred. It is an active high signal. When it is high, it indicates that devices is ready to transfer a data. When it is low, it indicates that we have to wait. After that, pin number 21. Here pin number 21 is reset. Right? It is used to reset the execution. It causes the processors to immediately terminate its present activity. Right? It forces the processor to stop the activity. This signal is active high for the first 4 clock cycle to reset the microprocessor. After that, pin number 18. Here pin number 18. Pin number 18 is INTR. Right? It is an interrupt request signal which is sampled during the last clock cycle of the each instruction to determine its process considering this has an interrupt or no. Whether it is an interrupt or no. Is there any pending interrupt available or not? After that, pin number 17 here. Pin number 17 is NMI. Means it stands for non-maskable interrupt. NMI means non-maskable interrupt, right? It is an edge trigger input which causes the interrupt request to the microprocessor. We cannot avoid this interrupt. We have to attend this interrupt. After that, pin number 33. Here pin number 33 is NM/MX. It stands for maximum minimum and is available for maximum and minimum mode. It indicates what mode the processor is to be operated. In what mode processor is right now operating. When it is high, it works in minimum mode, and when it is low, it works as maximum mode. After that, INTA. Here pin number 24. It is an interrupt acknowledgement signal. It is available pin number 24. When the microprocessor receives the signal, it acknowledges the interrupt. After that, ALE. Here ALE. It stands for address enable latch, and it is available at pin number 25. Here a positive pulse is generated each time the processor being any operation. This signal indicates that availability of the valid address on the address as well as data line. After that, DEN. Here DEN S0. It stands for data enable N. It is available at pin number 26. It is used to enable transreceiver, means transmit and receive 80826. The transreceiver is a device which is used to separate the data from the address and data. After that, DT/R. Here S1. It stands for data transmit as well as receive signal. It decides the direction of the data flow through the transreceiver. When it is high, data is transmitted out, and when it is low, data is received in. After that, M/IO. Here pin number 28 S2. This signal is used to distinguish between memory and input-output operation. It differentiates memory and input-output operation. When it is high, it indicates input-output operation. When it is low, it indicates memory operation. Right? After that, 29 WR. Here it stands for write signal, and it is available at pin number 29. It is used to write the data into a memory. WR is used to write data into a memory. After that, HLDA. Here HLDA pin number 30. It stands for hold acknowledgement signal. Right? This signal acknowledges the hold signal. After that, HOLD, hold. Here this signal indicates the processor that external devices are requesting to access the address or data bus. Okay. After that, QS1 and QS0. These are the queue status signals, and they are available at 24 and 25 pin number. These signals provide the status of the instruction queue. Right? The value of S0 and S1 both are 0, that means no operation. As QS0 is 0 and QS1 is 1, means first byte of opcode fetched from the queue. If S0 is 1 and S1 is 0, then empty queue. If both value are 1, S0 is QS0 is 1 and QS1 is 1. The subsequent byte from this queue. Okay. After that, lock here. When this signal is active, it indicates the microprocessor not to perform any task. It is used to lock system bus, right? It is pin number 29. After that, RQGT1 and RQGT0. Here 30 and 31. There are request grant and signal used by the processor requesting the CPU to release the system bus. When signal is received by CPU, then it sends acknowledgement RQGT0 has a higher priority than RQGT1. Okay. Now address and data pins, as we have discussed in the diagram. AD0 to AD15, these are the bidirectional. This line are multiplexed bidirectional address as well as data bus. AD0 to AD7 carries lower order bytes of data and AD8 to AD15 carry higher order data. When AL is 1, the address bus gets enabled, else data bus will be enabled. After that, A16 to A19, these line are multiplexed and unidirectional address and status bus. During T1 they carry higher order 4-bit address. After that, in remaining time they carry status signal. Okay, these are used for the address as well as status signal. Then BHE, bus high enable. It is used to indicate the transfer of data over a higher order data bus D8 to D15. Then interrupt related pins are NMI. NMI means non-maskable interrupt, right? We have to attend this interrupt. Then another pin is INTR. It is active high input signal. It is interrupt request signal if there is there any pending interrupt are available or not. After that, INT, interrupt acknowledgement signal. After that, clock related different signals are clock, CLK. It provides the time for microprocessor. Then reset. It is active high input signal. When reset is high, microprocessor reset the state and terminate the activity. After that, ready signal. It is high input signal. When this is an acknowledgement signal from input output devices or memory. When this signal is high, it indicates that the device is ready to transfer. When this signal means ready is low, the microprocessor is in the waiting state. After that, different control pins. The test. It is low input signal. It is used to test the status of the microprocessor. And next is NM, MN/MX, min max mode. Minimum and maximum mode. Active high and active low. Minimum means active high and maximum means active low. If min max is high, it works in minimum mode. If min max is low, it works in maximum mode. After that, different mode multiplex pins. DEN. It is an active low output signal. This is a data enable signal. This signal is used to enable the transceiver. Next is DT/R. This is data transmit as well as receive. DT means data transmit, R means receive. When this signal is high, data is transmitted. When this signal is low, data is received. After that, M/IO means memory and input output. This signal is issued by the microprocessor to differentiate memory in input output operation. When it is high, memory is accessed. After that, lock, right? It locks the system bus, right? So no one can use the system bus. After that, WRP, it indicates the low output signal. When there is a memory write operation is performed, this signal is activated. After that, HOLD, it is an active high input signal. When DMA controller needs to use address or data bus, it sends a request to the CPU through hold pin, right? When microprocessor received hold signal, it issues HLDA signals to the DMA controller, right? Means hold and HLDA are related with each other. HLDA, it is an active high output signal. It is a hold acknowledge signal. It is used after receiving the hold signal. After that, RQGT0, RQGT1. These are the request, grant, bidirectional print. When other microprocessor requests a CPU through this pin line to release the system bus, after receiving this request, the CPU sends acknowledgement signal to the same lines, right? Here RQGT0 has a higher priority than RQGT1. GT0 is higher priority than GT1. These are the GTO questions asked in previous year examination. You have to prepare it.